the community. This is changing the landscape of Shreveport and in effect Caddo Parish, because it's a new place that is being created around the area. So it's fun to say that even something like this great fire tower was underwritten by family because it was such an exciting project. So when the arts come in and put forth these exciting projects, and when people in the community, but even more importantly, when you all, as the commissioners in this parish and the city of Shreveport support this, just a wonderful brotherly, sisterly connection, knowing that the arts are going to community and support it. And so I'm proud to say, and Pam has some things to close with, on being the consultant, it's very rare to have someone in 8 months come together and have the plans ready to go. Now imagine that with artists. Imagine that in using different kinds of governmental entities. I think it's one of those projects that's meant to be. You all made this possible by your early support, and I, for one, really appreciate it. But I don't get to vote here, so you don't have to listen to me. But I'll tell you what, it's wonderful to go around the country and to brag on what happens in Shreveport and Caddo Parish in support of the arts, and it's an honor to be a part of this. Any questions? And I'll turn it over to the goddess of the arts, I call her. So everybody talk to her.
Well, I thought you were going to show a few pictures on Shreveport County real quickly. I just want you to know, again, this building, we are on May 24th. It'll be presented to the city and to the state of Louisiana for approval. We did receive good public funds from the state of Louisiana, about $750,000 in city funds, the insurance, and you all have been a big help in the project as well, and we are going forward with the design to the state for approval and to the city for approval, but we wanted to bring it to you first before it goes any further and see if you had any questions about the design or about how artists, arts organizations, underserved community, social service non-profit organizations would benefit from the building. And if you don't have questions, then we'll say, and we're at the very same time launching the plans for Shreveport Common, the 9-block area. We know we're running past our 15 minutes, so I'm going to tell you that in June, on June the 17th, we'll have our first meeting to present the plan publicly to area developers. We're researching all of the tax incentives that are a part of going into historic neighborhoods to try to lure developers and real estate people and also CPAs to be able to give good advice on how they can become involved in buying property, building and developing in the 9-block area, and also, of course, the real concern about historic preservation in the area. And then on June the 18th, we'll be having our public presentation of the Shreveport Common Plan, and we hope that you'll be with us for that. I'm trying to be sensitive to the time. I think I've hit it. So were there any questions or concerns or ideas? Stephanie, you do not have an idea for something we haven't thought about.
No.
Okay.
Excellent job. I mean, this is what happens when you do dot all the I's and cross all the T's. We're very happy with the progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Ken. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate the opportunity to show you where we are. Thank you, Woody. Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, guys. Great.
Commissioners, Erica's not here today, but she'll be giving you an update Thursday on the court, as well as an updated expense report. I just want to make you aware that the sheriff substation, the new substation on Mansfield Road, will be open officially ribbon cutting this Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. And we'd like to invite you all to come out and see what you paid for. The Parish Commission did buy the building for the sheriff. Also, the scene today, which is Friday, May 20th at Earl Williams Park, which is usually a pretty good turnout for our senior citizens. And we do have a rain day of May 27th. The next one I'd like to give you is a brief update on the General Motors situation. We had an article that appeared in the Shreveport Times on May the 8th in the editorial section, raised the outcry over the close of the local GM plant. And it kind of alluded in this article that perhaps local government was silent with respect to what's going on at the plant. To the contrary, we've been very busy over the past few years trying to make a difference at the plant, and our efforts to help them stay in not only in production but become more valuable Beginning back in 1978, the Parish Commission sold the existing land that the plant is on today. And in 2003, March 23rd, 2000, the Parish Commission passed a Resolution 11 giving its endorsement for General Motors Corporation to participate in the local quality program, jobs program. Beginning in 2004, through the Enterprise Sales Initiative tax rebate, the Parish Commission has given back to General Motors $2 million in 2004, $3.2 million in 2005, and $1.2 million in 2008. And then again, on August the 8th of 2002, the Parish Commission passed Resolution 20 of 2002 to donate 61 acres of land for the expansion of the assembly plant at General Motors. And that 61 acres of land is valued at $1.1 million. Not only do we donate the property, we also went out there and cleared it all and leveled off all the soil for the work to proceed. So we did a lot for them. On April 3rd of 2003, the Parish Commission again passed Resolution number 15, which gives its endorsement to General Motors Corporation to participate in the Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. Beginning in 2004, the Parish Commission donated another 30 acres of land to General Motors, valued at $770,000 for another expansion project that they had on their boards. In 2008, the Parish Commission passed an ordinance to waive all of the collection on taxes on new equipment that General Motors purchased. And they came before you all and you graciously give them that leeway. In 2008, since we've gotten word that the plant was due to close in 2012 of June, we've been diligently seeking, by whatever means we could, to help them stay open. And on October the 18th, 2008, I had the opportunity to go to Detroit along with Governor Jindal and Mayor Glover to visit with the Vice President of General Motors North America to discuss the future of the plant. And we went there for the express purpose to see what we can do to make sure that plant stay open and those jobs be kept at the plant. In October of 2009, I had another opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. to meet with President Obama's administration to talk about, and also with Senator Landrieu to talk, and executives from General Motors to talk about what could we do to help keep that plant open. On May 7th of 2009, the Parish Commission passed another resolution urging the support for solutions and actions that will coalesce in order to achieve by whatever means necessary to continue the existence and operation of the General Motors plant here in Shreveport. On November the 4th, 2009, Commissioner David Cox, John Yesterday, and members of our administrative staff met with the Motors liquidator folks to discuss the plant and what could Cal Parish do to keep the plant open and operating. In May 2010, I did have the opportunity to meet with HK Motors, which is a Korean auto manufacturing company, about exploring the possibility of purchasing the plant to keep the auto manufacturing operation going at the plant. On August 18, 2010, Commissioner John Yesterday and myself met with Mr. Brian O'Connell from the Government Relations Division of General Motors to discuss the future of the plant. On December 9, 2010, I had another opportunity to go and meet with Governor Jindal and Secretary of State of Moray and officials from General Motors to talk about the future of the plant. And at that time, the governor made a confidential offer to General Motors to help secure the plant and its future operations at the plant. And we have not been told what came as a result of that offer, so we're still waiting to hear from that. But the bottom line is, since we've gotten the unfortunate news that the plant was going to be closing in the future, we're seeking ways to keep the plant open, and we've been meeting practically bi-weekly with our local group headed up by the Northwest Economic Partnership to see what we can do to come up with solutions to keep the plant open. So I'd like to submit this report to the Commission for your consideration as to what we have been doing in the last, for the General Motors since 1978, and tell you that we've been pretty active, contrary to what may have come out in the paper, saying local government has not been doing much. We've been silent on the issue. Okay. So the next thing I have for you, sir, just a brief report. did have the opportunity to go to Baton Rouge last week with several commissioners, Commissioner Pearson, Fox, and Baker, along with Todd, Randy, and myself, for the legislative day at the state capitol. And as our customary practice, we try to meet with our delegation the night before to talk about different things we need help on. And we did have an opportunity to meet with Representative James Smith, Jim Morris, and Patrick Williams. And what we did talk about was asking them for some help on a capital outlay request that was put in about a week or so ago. And what I briefed you all on, it had to do with the LCBG grant process. We needed $129,400 to help Mr. Willie Washington's group be competitive for their water project. And so Representative James Smith said she would be able to help us with this initiative. Well, to my surprise, we were always told that there's no money. But she said there is money in the capital outlay request. So that conversation was even further enhanced by the idea of possibly getting the entire $837,000. And while we were sitting with her talking, she started emailing Mr. Timmy Steeple, the governor's chief of staff, and set a meeting up for the next morning, which we didn't meet with him, but she did. And we met her at the Capitol, and we gave her an updated request for capital outlay for $837,000 to cover the entire breadth and cost of the project. So she called us Wednesday and then instructed us to contact Mr. Paul Ringwater, who's the Commission of Administration for the governor. He called us and we talked to him, and he said perhaps we can get the money out of the community water source fund. And we explained to him what we needed. We sent him a copy of the outlay request, and we got a call even today.
Yes.
But we're very optimistic that this funding will occur. But here's the takeaway that I got from this. As you probably, like I did, saw in the paper, last year Bossier Parish received $2.4 million, and last year, 2010, this year they will receive $6.5 million, and they're in the capital outlay budget for $8 million next year. Now, I had an opportunity to talk to Bill Alton this last week, and I said, Bill, tell me how you were able to get this money. He said, one name, James Smith. He said, she is bringing home the bacon. Okay? If you go to House Bill 2 and look at the requests, it's going to be funded next year. There's $4.1 billion in funding requests that they have in the budget. On the page that I looked at that contains Calcasieu Parish, Bossier Parish, and Caddo Parish, there are 8 projects on the list. Bossier has 6 of those projects. We have a project that's $165,000 for a fire station out at the General Motors plant that is not needed, and Calcasieu got a measly $70,000. But Bossier Parish has got millions of dollars, millions, and continue to do so. So I don't know what the message is to us as what we got to do to get folks working for us, but we do put requests in, and we are told that there's no money. So I just want to leave it at that and not make a big deal out of it, but certainly it's just heartening to see that some folks can get the money and we can't.
I see.
Okay. With that being said, also I did have a request from Commissioner David Cox to write a letter to Ms. Mary Ann Tice requesting her presence. I did do that, and in response to that letter, she sent an email. I think she copied some of you all on the email, but I did put a copy at your station so you can see her response. From Chef Prater, we have several letters. Three. The routine letters he always send us on the cost savings using inmate labor, and he crafted a letter talking about the success of our Criminal Justice Committee program. And Commissioner Lynch contacted me about a week or so ago on another initiative, Justice Reinvestment Initiative, and asked me to forward that to the sheriff, which I did, and he submitted it last week, dated May 9th, and I have a copy for those who attend the meetings. Okay, so this is phase 2 of the first assessment that we did on the jail capacity. This is the second part of that from the U.S. Justice Department. Okay? Before I conclude my report, Mr. Gary John is here today to talk about redistricting. If you have a question, he wasn't put on the schedule today, but he was here just in case you want to talk to him about any questions you may have. Mr. President, that concludes my report, so unless you have any questions for me.
Okay. Now we will entertain questions or comments to the administrator relative to the administrative report. We have Mrs. Lynch, Mr. Dominique, Mr. Escaday. Anyone else? Ms. Lynch.
First, on the GM report, thank you, Woody, for putting this schedule together. I was, probably like everyone else, we pretty much know what we've been doing. I'm not sure if we've done a great job. We've probably done a good job, but not a great job of letting the public know of all the things that the Caddo Parish Commission administration has been doing to keep in support of the GM plan. There was a meeting that was at LSU a couple of years ago, that you attended. I was there. I think Senator Jackson. It was a private meeting, so I want to make sure that that's reflected on here as well. And then the August the 18th meeting with Brian O'Connell, who I think was new to that position, government relations position, that Commissioner Cox, Commissioner Everson, and myself was a part of that meeting as well. Are we going to put a letter to the editor, I guess, in the paper that's kind of giving a summary of this? Because I really don't want that to be on the record. I really do want, some way that we can get this information out to the public, as to the things that we've been doing. So I don't know, if that will come from the president or how we're going to do that, but I think we need to make some effort. If it's on our website, something that the information is available to the public.
Okay. I get a form of information, Ms. Lynch. I would suggest, what I was thinking about doing a joint letter from myself and the administrator, rebutting that to the editor.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, on the letter that the sheriff sent, the particular one regarding the Justice Reinvestment Initiative, this is another resource that I was able to obtain from the National Association of Counties, NACO. A year ago, the technical assistance that we received from the National Institute of Corrections was also a resource that we were able to bring from NACO, and this Justice Reinvestment Initiative is another resource that I was able to provide to the sheriff and to our administration to look at and to get some additional technical assistance. And so I want to thank the sheriff for the absolutely, phenomenal leadership that he's showing in working with us and taking these NACO resources and running with it, and it has made a big difference in the progress that the Criminal Justice Task Force has made, particularly in the last year. On Plan 9, Mr. Joyner, I just have a question. I guess this could qualify as meeting 12. If you would just, well, I just have one question. Sure. I'm not sure. Is this the same one from last week that we were given?
Should be.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Well, there were some minor changes in between districts 1 and 2. I've talked to both Mr. Dominic and Mr. Johnson about them.
Okay.
There's several substitute pages that were put into your packet today to reflect the changes that Dr. Joyner is talking about up in the Blanchard area.
Okay, so that's just 1 and 2 are different? District?
And 1 north of Greenwood.
Okay, so just District 1 and 2 are different?
1, 2, and 12.
1, 2, and 12? Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm finished.
Okay. Mr. Dominique.
Gary, don't go too far. Just one question. Please get with Leon and make sure he gets the maps for 1 and 2 straightened out so we can have those done, at least for Thursday. And that's the only thing I have for you. I know this has been a hard, not the most easiest task, and we thank you for working with us.
Appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
The next thing I needed to say was to the administrator, looking at these letters from the sheriff, and especially the one regarding the May 9th letter where the different committees and individuals have worked diligently to decrease the number. I just was thinking maybe we could do a joint letter from you and President Epperson to the sheriff and to these different entities such as the DA, just telling them how much the commission appreciates them working together and making sure that the bed count is at an average that we can live with. This has been a very source of contention, but this group has worked extremely well, and I just thought it'd be nice if we tell them that we appreciate that too. The third thing was I just want to make sure, if I'm correct, and want to make sure all the commissioners understood what you were saying, and you and I have talked about this on the water Belvidere, which is the LCDBG plant program, which y'all were basically saying was that there's a possibility that we may be able to get to $875,000. But what we talked about would be still moving this forward and voting on that project along with another project, but selecting a third project as an alternative. If this project, the Belvidere water, got completely funded, then we would have time and should be able to put the alternative in. Is that pretty much correct?
That's correct, sir.
That's all I have. And
Amend that as well, as you pick 3 projects.
Right.
The third being an alternate.
I think that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Escudé?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Wilson, I've read the letter to the editor too. I think that was from the union president.
Yes, sir.
Who wrote the letter.
That's right.
And my first inclination was to respond, not because it was a hostile letter. I just don't think they're aware of the efforts that have been ongoing since the announced closure of GM's come about. And I think it's a complex issue that the general public doesn't understand. But just for sake of a brief overview, I know Mr. Jefferson, Pearson, Cox, several of us have worked diligently on this thing.
That's correct.
I don't think what people understand is the fact that we're not dealing, the plant's owned by the old GM and the liquidator, and the company running it out there is the new GM. And that we can't have a plant unless the new GM has a vehicle to build there. So basically it's up to the new General Motors as to whether or not that plant's going to stay open as a GM facility. They have to have a product there. The backside of that is we can't do anything, which we've done and teamed up with the state, or make an offer to buy the plant or put anything in there until it is vacated by the new GM. Then we can get with the old GM, the liquidating corporation, and see what can be done with that facility. So I do agree with everyone's comments that the effort's been massive on this, and as you know, a lot of these negotiations, you have to keep quiet and everything else. It's hard to let the public know every step of the way. But I don't think the letter was meant with any ill will. I just think it's a lack of knowledge about what's going on through the workforce out there. You know, the best thing we can do at this point, and you know, realistically, is hope and pray that General Motors decides or comes up with a product that they need to build in that facility, or something else will happen to it. But that's where we're at, and there's really nothing we can do about it. I mean, you know, we can't give them something to build. So, but we can respond to that however you think's appropriate. Secondly, on the capital outlay funding, and glad that you met with our state legislators, and want to make sure that that wasn't a political endorsement you were making, just an observation.
By all means, I don't do political endorsements.
Okay, we've got an election coming, and comment to as far as Doug's regards with Steve Prater and the Criminal Justice Committee. I think that if I missed anybody speak up, but I think Commissioner Cox, Pearson, Lynch, and I for the last 2.5 years worked diligently with them. This is a collaborative effort that not only involves the sheriffs, the commission, the district attorneys, the clerk of courts, the indigent defenders, the judges, everybody, and basically to stay on top of the inmate count, to take care of the most seriously ill prisoners or detainees, most of them aren't convicted, to try to get them out, to try to reduce the amount between arrest, incarceration, and trial, and the reinstitution of the rocket docket in which they're hearing these cases.
Amen.
Judge Marcotte has been very generous in hearing these cases. Those the efforts by all these entities, the coroner's office, probation, parole, if I leave somebody out, I'm sorry, has
finally culminated to this point to where we have managed the population there. We're still looking at other ways to manage inmate population. Healthcare is a big issue. And we've seen the numbers go down. Unfortunately, I suspect that it's probably at maximum capacity or over right now because they've had to transfer prisoners from all over from Angola because they had to evacuate it and they had to disperse them somewhere. But I certainly agree that we need to let all of our partners know we appreciate the efforts, but I just want you to know that for several of us, we've been a big part of that effort in getting that moving, as well as the administration and Mr. Grubb in helping. And this is an ongoing thing. I don't think anybody's going to drop the ball on us. We've seen such progress, and that's where we are on that. And I guess that's really all I have, Mr. Wilson. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cox?
When the article came out in the paper about from GM and the representative, I was disappointed simply because of the history that the Caddo Parish Commission from the word when GM said they were moving here. The commission has done nothing but bend over backwards, so his words were chosen wrong. If he sat down and wrote that the way he did, the paper published it, it's wrong. It sends off the wrong message, and I would ask that the administration, along with our president, do write a rebuttal, because over time, if they ask for it, they got it from this commission. They didn't get a photo out from the city like they normally do, and the city gets all the glory. That's the way it's been for 20 years. This commission is owed every credit in the world for doing what they've done up until this point, to make sure those people who are still out there, which I believe is around 700, still have a job. Because we have told GM, the new GM, whatever it takes to bring more jobs back or to keep this plant open, we will do. Simply because that is our baby. That's ours. It's not Shreveport's. It will never be Shreveport's. But whenever there was a photo op, Shreveport was there. So the article that was written out of that paper is wrong. And he needs to rewrite it and apologize, in my opinion. So, on to the next one, Mr. Joyner. For weeks and weeks, I know you've looked at your computer for months and trying to do what we have asked you to do. I want to tell you thank you. Simply because you've taken on a task that was pretty tough. And I know you spent some sleepless nights, and then we had to bombard you with our presence, and I just appreciate your help and your time, and I guess we'll do this again in another 10 years.
Sure, I'll be here, ready to go.
We all hope.
We all hope. It's great working with this body. This is my third round in doing this, and I live here. This is important to me too.
Yes, sir.
But I appreciate you.
Well, you did a fine job.
Thank you.
Lastly, I would ask that Mr. Dumashak, is he here today? If you can get with me after the meeting, I would like to take some time with you next week to go over property standards in my area. It seems that we have given the constables the authorization to do their job, but when it gets to the court is letting them down. So we're going to put a thumb down on the court and make them do their job the old-fashioned way, with evidence. So what I would like for you to do is ride with me one day, and we're going to start taking pictures and then go to the judges and ask them what's the problem. So get with me after the meeting, and we'll go from there. So thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. Pearson?
Yes, in addition to what Commissioner Escudé said about the criminal justice report and the committee that we've been working on for quite a while now, I just want to, in regards to Legislative Day, we did meet, and I did have an opportunity to talk to some of our legislators, because one of the concerns coming out of that, I think, Mr. Grubb, you remember that the energy defenders were concerned about being cut. So we did mention in Baton Rouge during Legislative Day that we wanted our delegation not to support any cuts to the indigent defenders group, because that's a key organization to making sure that we decrease the number of pretrial detainees in the jail, and that's what we were trying to do, and that's what we've been successful at doing. The other thing is that I did mention to them right before the end of the meeting, and I think the sheriff kind of picked up on that, and he was ready to go before we got to Baton Rouge. I think we got a letter tooting the horns of the group, but we said that not enough people knew about what we were doing, and I think that's gave rise to a lot of what we're doing now, what we're seeing now, and perhaps even more because it is an election year for most of you all. And so, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to let people know, you know, just what kind of progress that the group is making in regards to moving some of those indigent defenders. So, thank you very much. I have another comment to make under reports, but...
Okay. All right, Mr. Thibodeau?
Yeah, this is for Mr. Joyner. Probably going through this has been kind of like being tied to 4 horses. And 12 horses and being put to death. But the one thing, and I've known Gary for a long time, and I know he's a smart guy, I know that. But what I admire most about in doing this, and this is so important to the voters of Caddo Parish, is the integrity that you showed in this. I know there's times when maybe we have said something to you that didn't make a lot of sense, and you didn't say, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but you were able to kind of move us around to show us how, you know, one move in one district affects everybody else. You know, I had to give up about 6,000 people, which I hated to do, but in the overall picture, I think it's to the benefit of the parish. And I just want to mention the integrity portion of it, because that's something that we don't find too often in government politics, and in this case, your job is a government job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
I concur.
Okay, that's it. All right. Wilson, if you would, I'm still on the administrative report. We asked Brother Leon to make me an old folks map. I need some big letters on mine. Between 9:30 and old folks map. So I need of the proposed district streets. Also, Mr. Wilson, if you, Mr. McClung, Mr. Cox, Ted Cox at Juvenile, and Mr. Cox, our Assistant Facilities Manager, am I correct?
Yes, Mike.
Mike Cox. If we could meet with Mike Richardson upon this Thursday, the 19th, relative to initiate the Northwest Louisiana Veterans Cemetery.
Okay.
And I would also like for you to add in that report, that written report, if you might want to modify it a little bit, that with the General plant being located in my district, each year at all public hearings that I had since returning back to the commission, I've always given a detailed, up-to-date report as to what the parish is doing relative to General's plant, as well as we have invited the labor hierarchy as well as the plant manager, basically every function that we've had, our legislative update functions, anything we have down here, that we've invited all sides of the table to be there with us in all of our efforts there. So let's make that known also.
Yes, sir.
And we also brought up in NACO, we tried to get a meeting, Mr. Cox and I, of members of NACO at our legislative conference in Washington, D.C., all members of NACO that had plants within their particular districts that was affected, what we could collaboratively do to see what we could do to try to keep those plants open and continue them on that level. We also visit with our federal delegates. Each time we went to Washington, D.C., we've done a numerous amount of resolutions, Mr. Wilson. So if you pull all the resolutions that we've done and attach them to this report also. We've done we've even, I think, put a deal in there where we was suggesting using natural gas or whatever we think could come in there. So let's make sure, and it's not the idea to say we rebutting, but we're just presenting factual information to the public, which they may not be aware of. And that's what I feel our responsibility is. Okay, that clears up on the administrative report. That'll be the next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we have communication committee reports.
Okay, we have Ms. Baker, Mr. Escaday, Mr. Pearson. Ms. Baker.
Yes, I wanted to report on a couple of things. The first thing is thank you all for allowing me to attend the Economic Development Conference again this year. It was a very fruitful conference. It was a conference mostly geared toward stimulating the economy by bringing back programs to your district for your constituents. And one of the things I told Carl is, I said, Carl, we're doing pretty good because we had one county there that has what is a double B negative?
They didn't even rank.
Yeah, they didn't even rank, and it was like,
700,000 people.
700,000 people, yeah, so, I was telling Carl how blessed we are to be in the position that we're in. And, but a couple of things that I wanted to possibly get with policy and procedure, one of the things, policy and procedure committee, is one of the things kind of stuck in my head was Nationwide did a presentation on retirement benefits. And one of the things that he said was, now that retirement benefits are invested, and possibly we can get with our constituents in our districts and find out, those that especially that are in the retirement system, and making sure that they have looked at their retirement program that they have, and make sure that they have enough money, that they'll have enough money when they retire, because there's a lot of things they're seeing now is people retiring and not having enough money to live on. So I think that would be a very good project. Another project was Comcast had a laptop project where low-income students can get a laptop per household. Xerox had an employee initiative where they would employ people out of your districts to actually service Xerox copy machines that they put into businesses. So, and the last thing was the HUD project, where they were talking about the different projects that they have going on right now. One of the things that I found out about HUD is that the monies that HUD divvy out to the actual states are actually done by need. So that means that if Arkansas has a greater need than Louisiana, they wouldn't split the money up because Louisiana and Arkansas both applied. It would all go to Arkansas. So I was just kind of, a little not happy with that initiative. But I did think back to when I talked to, when we were in Baton Rouge, and we were meeting with the legislators, and that was one of the things I mentioned to Representative Smith, that the CDBG funds had gotten even more cuts, and that's why it was very important for the state to support us on these two water projects, because of the fact that we possibly may not even get CDBG funding, and if we do, it possibly won't be enough to carry these two projects. So, and after I talked to those HUD guys and they said that, I was like, well, we may not get anything. But so it was a very fruitful economic development conference, especially for it's helping you to look at ways of stimulating your districts. And two other things, and I'll be finished. Economic development will be meeting tomorrow in a joint meeting with the city of Shreveport to talk about doing a joint effort of the economic development department, and that's tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then on May 25th, the economic development committee will have their second retreat. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Escaday.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't know if any of you are aware, but it seems recently that a couple of well-connected rats who have connections in Baton Rouge have managed to find their way to this side of the river and are trying to inject themselves in the infrastructure issues as regards to the expansion of 3132. Therefore, there is a meeting called by the City Council that will be at LSU Thursday night at 7 o'clock that will address these issues. I think it's important for all of us, or if we can, to attend it, because it threatens an ongoing existing corridor that there has been business development for the last 15 years predicated on. And as I said, now there are hounds at the gates. We're trying to mess in our business. And I expect there to be a good crowd, and you'll find more details to that. But it's Thursday at LSU at the auditorium at 7 o'clock. And Councilman Corbin has lined it up, and it's of interest to us because a great deal of that corridor, as it relates especially going into the port, is in the parish. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pearson?
Yes, I did on to Commissioner Baker. That was basically what I was going to say, except I thought she was going to hold the Comcast deal for her reelection. That's a reelection deal where you can get all of the, all of the kids on free lunch can get a laptop from Comcast, well, not free, but at a cost of $150. A computer, and one per family, but that's a pretty good deal. But I thought she was going to hold that for re-election. And certainly, we think about, we take our people for granted, our finance folk, and how well we do, and our bond rating. But when you think about a parish, a county as large as the one that went from from a AAA bond rating to not even being rated by Standard & Poor's, it makes you really thankful and grateful about the job that our people do. And that's kind of the first thing I thought. I felt sorry for Lee May and Larry, but I felt good about how well we take care of our funds. So that's it, President.
Okay. Ms. Lynch, you took off? Okay. At this time, Mr. Hopkins, I have an issue that's been really burning at my craw, and I believe you have it down there, if you would. And you all please bear with me. Don't feel offended.
It came to our attention today that every once in a while you run into a really important person that you didn't realize was in the midst of you. And since today is a special day, we wanted to bring this to the group. And if they will pull this up, there's Mr. Peter Frampton. We mainly wanted to say happy birthday, Commissioner Escaday. If I would have known early enough, we'd have had Peter Frampton playing in the background.
I hope y'all feel like I do. Thanks, sir. I'll get you, Ken.
Okay. That ends committee reports.
Next we have our president's report.
Okay. If everyone that has any outstanding issues on your committees, let's see if we can rein them in. I think we are waiting on facilities and space as far as the remodeling of the commission clerk's office, and we get some deals. Few bylaws we need to get in place. I think Ms. Lynch is close to scheduling for the budget. I'd like all these issues basically, if we could, unless something else arises out of some extenuating circumstances, if we can get everything cleared up, say by July, so and then we can run on through with the budget and won't be encumbered with other things coming in. That's all I have. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
We have no other business on the agenda. We move to new business. Ordinance number 5102, granting to Southwest Electric Power the right, privilege, and franchise to acquire, construct, erect, maintain, repair, relative to the franchise.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson, seconded by Commissioner Dominique, that ordinance number 5102 of 2011 be forwarded to Thursday's agenda. On the comments, we have Mr. Thibodeau. I have to comment on this one. Okay, go ahead. Okay. But I'd like to go over 2 through 9 after the comment. Okay. Mr. Grove, in the extension of the franchise for SWEPCO, just speaking to different people as I was out, telling them about this situation, which a lot of people are not aware of, just like with the cable franchise. Would this be a time to bring up to SWEPCO I think some people say when they pay their bills online, there's a $2.95 extra fee, and they was wondering why they should be penalized for that, you know what I mean? 'Cause, you know, you save it, you know, got all this modern technology, and then they penalize you for it. And a lot of people got so is that an issue that we could bring up to them, to put on the customer service, that they would remove that $2.95 fee when people pay online?
You can certainly bring it up, Mr. President. If you'd like for me to, I'll be happy to bring it to the attention of SWEPCO, and
Okay.
we'll have
And
the
if-
information for
That's Thursday, okay.
Thursday. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. Now we have a motion by Mr. Thibodeau.
Second.
And seconded by Mr. Dominique to englobo, what are they?
2 through 9.
2, 3, 4, 5 through 9. Okay. Moved by Mr. Thibodeau, seconded by Mr. Dominique. Any discussion? Ms. Lynch?
I had a question on Resolution 22.
On?
I had a question on Resolution 22, that's number
okay.
7.
Okay.
I guess I need to get an update on where we are with the newly formed commission, Sports Commission that's under the Tourist Bureau. Where are we on that?
As far as I know, Commissioner Mensch, they haven't met yet. We just passed an agreement to form it, and that's still in the formulation stage right now. There's no one been appointed to it, anything of that sort yet.
No staff or
No, ma'am.
anything?
Not yet.
John, you had some additional information?
That's not necessary.
Oh, okay. And what would this second $50,000 be for? I mean, I guess his name on here, Carl?
You asking me?
Yeah, because your name is on it.
Okay, well, the second, what we voted to do was to give $200,050 a quarter, subject to two deals. Subject to the appointment of 2 board members of our choice, first thing. The second one was that they agreed to the tenets of the cooperative endeavor agreement. And they did, but to this point, it's been 4 events. It's been the wrestling, and it's been the basketball, and this is the baseball. Is that?
Baseball and the basketball.
And
The ladies' basketball.
yeah, the ladies basketball, the wrestling, the ladies basketball, and baseball.
Baseball.
Okay, and really they're behind in terms of paying for, I think in what you should have on the cooperative endeavor agreement, I mean, what was required by legal and finance for them to fill out, on the back pages, it should tell you, give you an accounting of everything that they've spent for each event and what's owed.
Okay. Well, let me ask, because I know last time, and I've slept since then, but there was some issue about some documents being produced. Did you get what you were looking for, Dave? Okay.
What document? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I kind of remember there was some documentation that was discussed. Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. We have Mr. Cox.
I'd like a substitute motion to postpone Resolution 22, number 7, for 2 weeks, because, and if I can get a second, I'll speak on it.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Cox, seconded by, who was it, the seconder?
Second.
Ms. Bowman, that we postpone resolution number 22 of 2011 for 2 weeks. Make it a motion, Mr. Cox.
Basically, Ms. Lynch is correct. I had made some requests at the last meeting when the representative from the Sports Authority was here. The simple request was to give us an outline of what was due for the rest of the year, which is not that hard. Okay. I have not received that as of yet. We all have a copy of the email that was sent to Mr. Woodrow Wilson yesterday. As a supporter of this organization, along with Mr. Pearson, I'm seeing it harder and harder to support when something like this happens. I would ask that postpone it for another 2 weeks,
and have the information that I request as far as what we have for the rest of the year. I don't mind giving them the money because we already told them, you know, a cooperative endeavor. We know that it can do their job. I have no problem with what she's doing up to this point. I would just like to show and see what we have on the plate for the rest of the year. Okay? And that tells me, okay, yes, we can go on and finish the agreement and then get with the new organization that is being built. So I would say that we just need to give her 2 more weeks, let her get back in town, and go from there. Thank you.
Mr. Escudé?
I agree with Mr. Cox that I'd like to give the 2 weeks, give her one last opportunity to come and let us know where they are and where they're going, rather than sending a subordinate or a board member that doesn't know anything or can't answer our questions. I find it really insulting to all of us and to the taxpayers of this whole parish that they could expect that we could continue to provide funds when we can't get, you know, the person in charge who knows the information, has the answers to the questions, to come before us and at least let us know where they're going and what they need. As we saw here today, you know, the SRAC people were here just to update us on what we've done. We haven't even had to ask, but we've requested and requested, and we don't have the information forthcoming. We need to know where they stand on the Bassmasters. If what I heard was true, if they're already behind on their bills or in arrears, then I'm wondering, you know, okay, how much worse is it going to be? Where's it going to go? But I mean, I think that for us to continue to do anything or consider any funding, that the person in charge, the executive director of that organization, needs to come and explain to us and let us ask some questions. We need some answers. Thank you.
Mr. Lynn?
Along with Mary Ann Tice coming to visit us, I would like a report from our 2 board members that we put on the Sports Authority to hear their experiences, how the meetings have been going, their orientation, and what they've been doing with the Sports Authority. That's all, Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. Pearson?
I thought that the first report in it had the remaining project. I thought when the first report came to us, it was a lengthy report, and it had all the remaining projects in it. And to that end, I thought that they had given us all of the remaining projects. And, you know, we asked for a report, and I understand you'd like to see the face of the authority to come before us. You know, I don't have issues with that, but I mean we've made a commitment. They made commitments based on the commitment we made. I mean, they just did a successful baseball tournament this past week. Just did, you know, successful basketball tournament with the women's basketball, and in fact that, you know, the team that won out of this region ended up being national champions. I think speaks well for, you know, what was done. Not that she knew that, but the point is that it did happen. So we had a quality tournament, and so I just think that we need to, you know, kind of move forward. Where Bassmasters is concerned, I don't know if if the commission is going to be a part of anything to do with Bassmasters, because Bassmasters is 2012, and what we said we were going to do, I believe, and the right commissioner, to those that we were going to fund her through 2011, and so whatever happens with Bassmasters, it's going to be between the Sports Authority, the new entity, and the new entity, however that goes. You know, but my interest is and always has been trying to honor our commitment to get the Sports Authority through, you know, 2011, which is what we agreed to do.
Ms. Lynch?
Let me just offer that if Ms. Tice would like to have a meeting, you know, in a committee meeting as opposed to coming for the commission, that we can certainly do that. The other thing is, and I'll have to go back and look at the minutes, but my recollection of what our commitment was to fund them until we created the new entity, until the new entity got created and going. That's what I remember. Not that we were going to fund them through 2011, and we have to pull the tape or the minutes or whatever, but that's, I don't remember saying that we were going to fund them. What I recall is that was why the 3 months and the 3 months and the 3 or 4 month gaps were put in place, was because if we were going to fund her for all of 2011, we would just done the appropriation without having to come back every 3 or 4 months to do $50,000. I thought that was because we wanted to give time to get the new entity up and formed. Now that's what I recall. I mean, I'll be glad to go back and listen to the tape. But that's just my recollection on that. But certainly, a committee meeting is certainly another option. And, give her more different days or times that she can work with, as opposed to a set meeting of the commission. Thank you.
Ms. Baker?
Call for the question.
Question's been called for. Must be by a 2/3 vote. All in favor calling for the question? Vote. Okay, the question's been called for. Now we'll vote on the motion that's on the floor. The motion on the floor is to postpone resolution number 22 for 2 weeks until such time requested information is provided, and that's to advance this for Thursday's agenda. If you're in favor of that, vote yes. If you're opposed to it, vote no. It's not up yet.
Mr. President, it will be 3 weeks until our next meeting.
Well, whenever the next meeting. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. That's 5. That advances to Thursday's agenda. Now we'll vote on Mr. Thibodeau's motion to in-grow vote 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What's wrong? Wait,
Wait a minute.
Mr. President.
Which one was it? 7 to 5.
Point of order.
Okay.
Commissioner Bowman.
That vote was for, that wasn't right to postpone.
That's what it's.
That was to postpone.
Yeah.
You said move to
Right.
Thursday, but you,
Yeah, well, it has to be moved to Thursday anyway for formal action. The move to postpone to Thursday's meeting for formal action.
No, this just took it off the agenda.
Took it off the agenda.
this took it off. It took it off.
Yeah, we postponed.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Next meeting.
Okay, I thought you said, okay, all right, so that's removed from the agenda. Okay, now we're on Mr. Thibodeau's. Repeat what you got there.
2 through 6 and 8 and 9.
Okay, and Globo,
Right.
to advance to Thursday.
Right.
Okay, all in favor? All right, next order, please.
Authorized presentation, proclamation, and celebration of National Older American Month to Centennial and Miss Leola Baylor, oldest resident in Commission District 6, celebration of her 102nd birthday.
Move to Thursday.
Moved by Commissioner Baker, seconded by Commissioner Cox. We advance this item to Thursday's agenda. Any discussion?
Yes, I
Ms.
just want to
Baker?
say that this month is Older American Celebration Month. Found out she's one of the oldest members in District 6, and they're planning on, granddaughters are planning on bringing her here to get her information. So, look forward to that.
Okay. Next order, please.
Next, we have consent agenda.
It's all under consent. That's it?
We had to pick our project.
Yeah.
Johnson,
I forgot to vote.
I got one more. I got one more.
Any comment before we adjourn? You got Mr. Pearson, anyone else? Mr. Pearson?
Yeah, just want to let the commission know that I'll be out on Thursday. NACO board meeting will be in Wenatchee. Is that it, Rita? Wenatchee, Washington. So I'll be at the NACO board meeting on Thursday. Not that I really look forward to going to a natural walk. Move the judge.